BoxingShow.tv fans, welcome back for our third show. Excited, Costa?
Third show already, can you believe it? Third show.
Of course.
I'm hyped.
We're going to be coming soon for some more. Let me tell you this. Costa, talk to me.
All right,
Give me some news.
We're going to start off the fight we saw this weekend. Cotto versus Clottey.
Terrible.
Great.
Terrible.
Amazing.
What do you think, Costa? Who do you think you won the fight?
I think the man who deserved to win won. Cotto won. It was up for grabs up until the 12th round. He won the 12th round. He won the fight.
I'm going to tell you what it was. It was a Madison Square Garden, Bob Arum, all around it. And I don't agree. I think if this fight was outside of the Madison Square Garden, outside of New York, and outside of Cotto backyard, this fight would have been 100% a fight for Clottey to win. I think Clottey looked amazing. He didn't look amazing enough maybe to pull it off in the last couple of rounds, but he did enough to win. But because he was in his backyard, this is why they didn't give it to him.
You know what? I'm going to have to disagree. When he fell on his knee, the ref had to beg him to get back up. He didn't have the heart of a champion. Cotto took a beating. I'm not going to give it wrong. At a point, I was thinking about the Margarito fight. He was retrieving. He was getting hurt. But you know what? He's a smart boxer. He had to deal with that big cut the whole fight. And he boxed his way out. He won the championship rounds. That's why we call them championship rounds.
I don't think he won those championship rounds.
He won the 12th. He won the 12th.
I think what happened is that he did just enough. Clottey just enough to win. But because there wasn't a big spread, and that's why I think they gave him the fight. But I'll tell you something. Something is really fishy when you see 116, 111, and then it's a split decision. You got one judge giving him 114-13, 113. I think the fight could have easily been a 114, 113 for Clottey. Maybe a couple of points extra for Clottey.
You know what? I'll agree. The 116 judge, it was ridiculous. No matter how you saw the fight, there was no way you could have scored it. It was really close. You could have it 115, 114, maybe even a draw. I even saw a draw, but that was ridiculous.
Even the punch stats, they definitely made it all in favor for Clottey. I mean, you had almost a 50-60 punches almost difference. That's a lot of punches. All combinations were all thrown by Clottey. It was not, these punches were not pity pad.
If Clottey pressed a bit more in the 12th, he had the fight.
If this fight was
just to seal the deal.
If this fight was a neutral zone between both fighters, I can tell you something, Clottey would have won the fight. But that's okay.
You got to give Cotto respect.
I do give Cotto
He finished the fight on his feet.
I love Cotto. I think he's a very, very good fighter. I'm a big fan of Cotto, but I love when boxing is fair, and I think this one, a lot of people are going to argue, and it's going to be back and forth. At least they could have gone, at least the maximum, give it a draw, because that fight was so close.
It was very close.
And I think next time, I don't think it's going to I don't think there's going to be a next time.
The sad thing is,
Bob Arum wants to fight him.
Like he said, it doesn't make sense economically. There's too many big fights for Cotto coming up now. Clottey's going to have to find another fight.
Well, you know what? I think Clottey needs some new management, and I think he needs an advisor. And you know what? Clottey, I think you should call my friend here, Greg Leon, at Boxing Talk. He might give you some advice on not getting judges in New York that nobody ever heard of. You know, they had one judge giving it to Clottey and two other judges. We don't know. But anyways, let's move on.
Moving on.
This is why boxing, it's all about this thing. I love it. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, very disappointing. Mayweather, Marquez, it's been postponed.
My heart is broken.
That was the fight. That was the fight I was looking forward. I was excited for this summer. This was my fight for this summer.
I can't believe it. They heard it's a rib injury, and you know it's very sensitive rib injury. I hope that's not too serious. They say there was nothing broken, so I guess with a couple of months, hopefully Mayweather can go back on track and get this fight going.
You know what they're saying now to postpone it for September, but this brings up other things because now Arum is really pushing for Cotto Pacquiao. Pacquiao was at ringside during the Cotto fight, and he was supposed to be at ringside during the Marquez-Mayweather fight. But now, if it's going to be postponed till September, Pacquiao wants his next fight in November. They might just sign to get the big fight with Cotto.
Well, this is an interesting thing to follow up, and we're going to find out in the next few weeks who's going to be fighting who. But you know what's great? The boxing is going to win because whoever comes up and they're going to fight each other, it doesn't matter who, we're still going to have some good boxing, and I hope they sign up really quickly because we're already in the summer, you know?
Yeah, we have to get the big fights. Anyways, it's great for boxing. Mayweather's back. Pacquiao wants more fights. We have big fights coming up. That we're guaranteed.
That's right. So give me some more news.
And finally, big weekend coming up right here in Montreal.
Big
we
week.
spoke about it. We keep speaking about it. We're still excited. It was a great week. Press conferences, weigh-ins. It was exciting. Jean-Pascal, Adrian Diaconu.
Amazing.
Talk about it, Alonzo. What
Let
you
me
see
tell
this
you,
week?
the press conference was amazing. This Jean-Pascal, he knows how to sell a fight. Thank God, because Diaconu is a really good guy, but he's more laid back, and Jean-Pascal is a seller.
More reserved, yeah.
More reserved, but he's a hell of a fighter too. And Jean-Pascal, he knows how to put the pressure on the fighters. He did a great press conference. The weigh-in today was amazing, and I think they both made the weight. And tomorrow night is going to be explosive at the weigh-in today. Let me tell you, Costa. I thought they were going to almost fight right there. It was so exciting.
It was insane. Diaconu, a reserved guy. He said he wants to do his talking in the ring. Pascal knows how to push his buttons. But these are mind games. We've seen it before. You know what? It might work in his favor.
I don't know if it's going to work with Diaconu. Diaconu is a very focused guy.
You think it might just...
We're going to find out tomorrow night.
Put the fire in him, and he's going to try to go for it.
I think he's going to stay focused, but it's going to be an incredible fight. And you already know what I think of the fight, but it's going to be very tough.
Boxing show's going to be there.
He's got to be careful with that left hook. Diaconu has a crazy left hook. But let's go and move on and talk about our spotlight of the week.
Oh, that's right. This week, living legend Sugar Shane Mosley is our spotlight of the week.
Great pick, Costa.
You know what? After his big win over Margarito, when he dominated, he destroyed Margarito, who at the time everyone was saying was indestructible after the beating he gave Cotto. You know what? You just have to look back in his career.
That's right.
2 knockouts over Fernando Vargas. 2 big wins over Oscar De La Hoya.
And Oscar De La Hoya was an incredible fight. And I think...
And this is during Oscar's peak.
Right, but I still think Oscar won at least one of the 2. But it doesn't matter. He's a great fighter. He's an amazing fider. And he's still doing it. He's
37, 38 years old.
38,
he's still going.
Still doing it. He's got the speed. He's got the, he's got the power.
His speed hasn't been deterred. He's still one of the fastest guys at 147. One of the hardest hitters at 147.
And he's dangerous for any opponent that faces him. I don't care if you're for Manny, if you're Cotto, whoever's going to face him again is going to have a hell of a time.
No weak chin. Never been knocked out. His losses. Right. Twice to Vernon Forrest. Twice to Winky Wright. Great boxers. Decision losses.
Right.
And he even Collazo. He won every round. When's the last time you saw Collazo look bad?
I think Sugar Shane is going to be obviously he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I hope his next fight is going to be maybe Mayweather or maybe Manny Pacquiao. That's crazy.
You know what? His legacy has been cemented. Hall of Fame. But wouldn't you all love to see Mosley Mayweather, Mosley Pacquiao? I know I would.
I want to see everybody fight everybody. I know it's the era of the Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard, and you got Thomas Hearns. It reminds me a little bit of this era, and I think it's great for boxing fans. So, guys, I think this is it for our show. We're going to find out. We're going to stay tuned next week, because next week we're going to tell you what happened with the Diaconu and the Jean-Pascal fight, and we're going to tell you what's going on with the latest news. Guys, keep on tuning for next week. BoxingShow.tv. Keep on watching. There is still more and more to come.